Hello and welcome along to the next instalment of my camper conversion YouTube channel. Now this video is basically just a quick roundup of a completed Daihatsu Hijet that I've just finished off fully converting. All the bodywork's been done, all the paintwork's been done. So this is a quick just roundup video showing exactly what has been done to this van compared to when I first bought it. Now I'll just put a couple of photos up just to show you what the van looked like when I first bought it. So as you can see, it was a really basic panel van, lots of rust spots to take care of, nothing in the interior wise, so everything had to be stripped out. So what have I done to the van? Well, when I first bought it, as I say, all the old interior was completely stripped down, all the old flooring was taken up and the full inspection of the floor was done. I've then insulated the flooring with 2 layers of XPS foam mats, and then the flooring itself has been laid with Ultra type safety flooring. This stuff is rubberized flooring, so it's a hell of a lot thicker than your standard your standard Lino type flooring. Near on impossible to puncture through this compared to Lino, where you just stand on anything and it just pushes straight through. So the floor was fully inspected, cleaned down, any rust spots ground back, floor was insulated, then I've had flooring laid down. After that, I stripped off the old ply panels that were in the wall and removed the basic insulation that the previous owner had tried to do. Every single panel in this van has had Celotex type insulation installed in it. The roof lining has had a full sheet of jab light put along it as well. Then after the insulation was installed, also in the sliding doors as well, everywhere is insulated in this van. After all that was done, I've then went along and carpeted all of the bare metal in the van, as you can see, as well as all of the ply panels, and I made a new headlining and I've carpeted all that as well. Now after the ply panels were all carpeted and placed in place, I've had to fit some downlighters into the headlining. You can see there's 4 LED downlighters and those are wired up to a remote controlled dimmer switch, so just turn it on and the lights come straight on and off. You can reduce it by 25%, 50 or 100%, or as much as you want, just with brightness up or down. As you can see, it goes down and back up to full brightness. Turn it back off, lights off. Handy little thing that. So after the lights were fitted in, I've then fitted in a 28cm skylight. Now the skylight has been colour coded on the roof when it went in for paint, otherwise I just thought it would have looked a bit daft having a full blue van with a white skylight on the top. So that's been colour coded on the outside, the inside's still white, and that still offers a little bit of extra light when it's up, but more importantly it offers ventilation for if you're cooking on the actual hob or anything like that. So once the skylight was in, I've then fitted in the window in the sliding door. Now this window is out of an old caravan door. These windows fit perfectly into sliding doors in micro camper vans. This is the 3rd type of this window that I've fitted into a van recently, and each time they've gone in with absolutely no problems, and they always look really nice when they're in. So that's the sliding door window, and that means that it will meet the DVLA requirements, because the DVLA do always stipulate that you do need a window in the side of a van. It doesn't need to be in the sliding door, it could be in a panel as well, but as long as there is a side window in a van, it should meet the DVLA requirements. So once all the flooring was done, the insulation and carpeting was in, the lights were in, the skylight was in, window was in, it was then time to start them building up the actual interior. So interior wise, I've done a full corner sofa bed. This sofa bed is round about 190cm long and just around about 80cm wide when it's out into the double bed as well. The cushions themselves are old caravan cushions that I've cut down both widthways, depthways. I mean, they've basically all been cut down to shape and to the size that I wanted. Now because the cushions were cut down, they wouldn't fit back into the old caravan cushion covers, so I've went out and bought some nice ruby leatherette type material, and as you can see, I've reupholstered all of the cushions with this ruby leatherette. Looks really nice, smartens up the interior really nicely compared to the old worn caravan cushions. The foam itself was spot on condition, absolutely great condition, but obviously the covers just wouldn't fit by the time the cushions were all cut down. So once all this has been reupholstered, I've made the frame. It's got a full storage going underneath the bed. I've also left access for the starter battery that's under there. I've made a cut out into the ply flooring, sorry, into the Ultra flooring for that. just so access is not a problem. It'll just go straight in. Now all of the storage panels, they just flip up and are held in place with little locking clips just in the middle there. I've also made that front section completely removable. That section goes along there and it's not bolted or secured down. That's because in these vans, they're so small, the seats actually sit on top of the engine. So to gain access to the engine bay, the seats need to fold back into the back of the cab. So if any maintenance was ever needed, either engine wise, gearbox wise, anything like that, that section that goes across there just lifts straight up and out the van, one-handed in seconds. And then that means that the chairs can flip back, gain access to the engine bay, or you can gain access to the gearbox cover that's under there as well. Now to make it into a double, there's just one long ply sheet, and that just slides out and sits between the bed frame there and this additional plank on the kitchen unit. That then creates the full extension out. This cushion and a few other cushions would then sit in the middle, and that's what makes the double bed up. I'll put some photos up of it made up just to show you what it looks like when it's all made up into the double bed position just now as well. So that's what it looks like when it's all fully made up, and seating wise you could easily seat 5, maybe 6 people in here. And because I've learned from the previous Hijet, I've actually made the seating that little bit smaller in here. So as you can see, I'm 6'3", and I've got plenty of room there. My hair's quite big today, but as you can see, plenty of room between my head and the headlining. So being 6'3" and me having lots of space, pretty much anybody should be able to sit in here without any issues at all whatsoever. So once the sofa bed was all made up, I've then had to make the kitchen unit. The kitchen unit's made of all brand new materials, apart from the actual sink itself. That's a reclaimed bowl, but that's still been fully polished up to give it a nice new look as well. All the tap and the micro switch pump, they're all new. In the kitchen unit itself, I fitted a 2-burner camping gas hob. That's fed from a dedicated gas bottle storage cupboard that also has a gas safety dropout hole in the floor there. The bottle itself has retaining straps in the cupboard just to tie that up as well, just to make sure it's nice and secure. And that's just fed up via the hose there. Now on the other side of the unit, I've got a sink with a full-size strainer with external drainage as well. It has a brand new micro switch tap with a brand new micro switch pump underneath. And as you can see there, that's the external drainage, goes straight out. I've also built into this cupboard a battery area storage for 110 amp hour leisure battery. There's a split charge relay system at the back there as well as individual fuse box for all of the 12-volt electrics. I've also mounted into the cupboard a USB 3 charging point, which also has a built-in voltmeter. So once all of the kitchen unit was done and everything's tested and working, the gas hob's working fine, the tap, you can hear it whirring into life there, there's just nothing wired in for water wise. So that was almost the conversion done. Now the DVLA do stipulate that you do also need a little table to have a van registered as a campervan, and I've done little tables like this on a couple of previous conversions, so I know this should be signed off no problems at all. This table here is attached to the sliding door and just held in place with a turnbuckle. As long as that turnbuckle's on, the door can open and close with no issues, no catching at all. And then to use the table, move the turnbuckle down, open that door just a little bit, and that acts as the actual leg for the table. It's not a huge table, but it still just provides that extra little bit of prep space if you're then working around about the kitchen or the sink area. Just gives you that little bit of extra space to put pots, pans on, this, that, the other. Again, just fold straight back down. And with the turnbuckle holding it in place, that means the door can then open and close with ease without catching on the paintwork. So that's pretty much the conversion wise done. As there's a couple of daft little other bits and bobs I've done as well. As I say, all of the electrics are wired in. I've put a 240-volt hookup on the rear bumper, and that feeds a 240-volt socket there. Now I would always recommend using an RCD plug if you've just got a direct hookup going straight to a plug without an RCD consumer unit. You can get little 40 milliamp plug-in RCD plugs, similar type of thing that you would use if you were safety conscious whilst using a lawnmower, things like that. Something that will trip and stop the electric if in case there was any sort of surges or spikes in the line. But because it's installed, it means that if you do ever visit a campsite that has hookup, at least you can plug it in, plug an extension lead into the RCD plug, and then have as much 240 volt electrics as you wanted. So once the conversion was pretty much all complete, as I've just described there, and every single job I've just mentioned is documented on my channel, job by job. So if you haven't had a look at there already, do have a look, because as I say, everything is documented job by job on this van and every other van that I've converted so far as well. So once all the interior was sorted out, the van was actually pre-sold. Somebody who came along who wanted the previous Hijet that I'd sold was interested when they found out that I had this one on the go. Now they requested to have the van painted the same colour as the last Hijet, so that's why it's gone from white to pretty much the same blue as the last van that I did. It's also got the sparkle metal flake in it as well, but unfortunately it's just not sunny today to show off the actual metal flake sparkle. If it was sunny, the whole van would just be shining like crazy. You just wouldn't believe the amount of sparkle that the van can actually give off. So as I say, once the interior conversion was done, I've then had to tackle all of the exterior of the bodywork. The van had numerous rust issues on the body, on the roof, on some of the panels. Not quite as bad as the first Hijet that I did, but there was still a good, I don't know, 4 or 5 days just of grinding, filling, sanding, priming, this, that, the other. Then more work underneath while you're brushing all of the floor plan underneath off, this, that, the other. There's probably about 7 days total that's gone into the full bodywork of this. After the bodywork was all completed, as I say, the vans then went in for a professional respray. That video again is also available on my channel, showing all the bodywork and the full respray job as well. The respray itself's come out really, really nice. As I say, it's just a shame it's just not sunny to show off the sparkle. And unfortunately this van should be going off to its new owner tonight, so this is pretty much the last chance I've got to make this roundup video as well. But I'm quite pleased with how it came out. There were various bubbling issues. There was an area around there, I'll show a picture of that now. So as you see, compared to that picture, you can barely see any prep work at all around the roof area. It's just come out really, really nice. Now the paint job, because I did all the bodywork prep, you can still see a couple of small little areas underneath the paint where I was doing some of the prep. But in comparison to the first Hijet that I did, where you could see almost 100% of my prep work, you're looking maybe 10% of my prep that is visible here, if that. I've tried to improve with every van that I've done, and as I say, the amount of prep this van has had compared to what you can actually see is minimal, really, really minimal. So I'm quite pleased with how the vans came out with the paint shop. Once it came out, there was just a couple of other daft little things to do. I've fitted some wheel trims onto the van, fitted a couple of door speakers into the doors as well. Now because the van had a door shut paint job, all of the door shuts still need colour coding, they're still white, but I did get a big jar of spare paint from the paint shop as well, so they can just be painted in just to match and colour coded up if that was ever wanted. So there we go, that is this full Daihatsu Hijet micro campervan conversion fully complete now. Taken probably 6-7 weekends worth of work, with a few days off in between as well, just to help get caught up with a few jobs that were outstanding. So it hasn't really taken that long to do the full conversion really. Now obviously having done a previous Hijet just a couple of months ago did help. I already had pretty much the previous Hijet to go off, dimensions wise, build wise, so that did speed things up. Let's say, if you haven't already, do have a look at my channel. Every single job that has been done on here is documented on my channel job by job. Everything from the flooring, insulation, carpeting, kitchen build, bed build, it's all there to be seen. As well as the previous Hijet that I've done, a Ford Connect I've done, a T4 that I use personally. And then once this is gone, I've got quite a big project coming up next. Full Mercedes minibus, or I've also got a VW T5 sat there waiting to be done as well, so I've got no shortage of projects at the moment. So once this is gone, I'm going to have a good shuffle around on my driveway, decide what I'm going to be doing next. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. There's going to be loads more content to come, whether it's this one or the T5 that I do next. As I say, have a look at my channel. Loads of content on there already from all the vans that I have already done. Plenty more to come as well. Give this video a good old thumbs up as well, it always helps as well. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video of my series. Thanks for watching, cheers.